That's a young band from Northern Ireland called Circadian, and nobody knows anything about them except me. And that's a song called Where I Want to Be. Bunch of school guys. I think one of their voices broken. Good morning, everyone in there. How are we today?
We are okay for a Thursday.
Good. Let me just talk to the people outside because, after all, they're the ones who matter. Good morning. Welcome to the programme. It's a Thursday. It's a lovely day outside. Mr. Coyle said he walked down in the sun today and felt the joys of spring.
Yeah,
and you felt as if it was good to be alive today.
Yeah, I've been walking all week.
I know.
Up and down to work, but the sun shines in your eyes. It's very hard to.
The number to ring if you want to contact this programme is 08459. Sorry, I'll try that again. 08459 555 678. Email address is gerry.anderson@bbc.co.uk, and the text messaging service is 81771. Good news today? Good news. Seamus Heaney has won the Forward Prize. And he writes, and he says, "It gives me considerable pleasure. And I have to say, joy is unconfined in the household. To once again and also repeatedly to be considered worthy of the most recipient, and indeed the person who has received yet another award for my considerable and indeed considered works. I was just saying the other day I'm the bestest poet in the land, and I've just got another 10 grand. It's very good. I'm very pleased. As a matter of fact, I'm overjoyed and discombobulated somewhat, because, of course, there are other poets who were defeated, and I say to them, get used to it, lads. That's what I said. Get over it, boys. And gentlemen, sorry, I think it's going to be one of these days. Gentleman wrote to me yesterday about criminals being apprehended. And here's another tale. He said, having laid down the gauntlet regarding challengers to the throne of worst burglars ever. These are true stories, by the way. I'm not making these up. My mind goes back to the heir apparent in our own part of Tyrone. Tyrone about! Tyrone up Tyrone! A shop was robbed many years ago by a pair of local ne'er-do-wells who harassed a member of staff and made off with a haul of cigarettes. The dogs in the street knew who they were, and the local rag screamed. That's like the Shinner saying, if anyone knows who's responsible for these, please let the police know immediately. You always get a laugh, don't you? By a pair of local ne'er-do-wells who harassed a member of staff and made off with a haul of cigarettes. The dogs in the street knew who they were, and the local rags screamed, masked men rob shop in daylight. The ignorant among you may believe, masked, identity concealed, which paints half the picture. The other half is best illustrated in this question and answer scenario. The policeman, did you see their face? Shop assistant said, no. Policeman, would you recognise their voice? Shop assistant, not really, but they were local. Policeman, anything that might help us find them? Aye, one of them was 7 foot tall. That's very tall. Anything else? He had only one leg. Needless to say, it didn't take Sherlock Holmes to solve the case of the missing Woodbines. And another man writes to me and he said, the email about the incompetent burglars reminded me of a story I was told by an ex-police officer a few years back. In the early days of the Troubles, when CCTV was only just being brought in, newfangled like, 3 boys were pulling the balaclavas on and getting tooled up to rob a bank when one of them noticed the cameras and said he didn't want to do the job because he walked with a limp and he'd be well known to the authorities. So what did he think they did?
They smashed the camera.
No.
The
3 of them.
Right.
One of them had a limp and he said he didn't want to do the job because once he was spotted on camera with a limp, he would be recognised. He would know who he was.
Balanced his other foot or something. You know what I mean? He put something.
Corrected. I stand corrected. No, all 3 of them adopted a limp.
Oh, very good.
The same boy told me another story about an inmate whose prison nickname was Adu, A-D-U. Apparently, the source of the nickname was he gave himself a paramilitary tattoo in the mirror. Oh, I'm grateful.
What was that film? You know me and names of films. I don't know.
Oh, yeah. I wish. Do you know what you should do? No. And this is only a suggestion.
Yeah.
Every morning we come in here, and you always start a conversation, but you can't remember the name of the subject of this conversation's about. You should say to yourself, now, I'm going to talk to the young lad, B.
Yes.
This morning, and I'm going to talk about a film. I'll write the name of the film down.
But I don't know the name of the film.
I know, but then I'll be...
Nor do I know who was in it.
See, this is good. You're telling me now about a film you don't know the name of and you don't know who was in it.
No,
see, this wastes a lot of time.
No, but you will tell me what it was.
But you see, all right.
Right? At the very end... What's that?
I thought somebody came behind me. Do you know what happened? The mobile phone fell out of my pocket. Right. I thought it was Ken Nobody comes sneaks in around you and grabs you. Right. Anyway, go ahead.
At the very end of the film.
Sorry, something happening here. I think it's a poltergeist in here. A poltergeist. There's something grabbing me from behind. Hope it's female. Anyway, go ahead.
Right.
I'm sorry to interrupt your flow.
And this guy has been interrogated in a cell by the police.
Yes.
And then they can't get the charge. You can't pin the charge on him.
Can he get the charge?
Right.
Yes.
And he's walking away. And he either develops a limp or he...
Easy peasy.
There's something about a limp.
Oh, yeah, easy peasy.
He either develops a limp or he's cured of a limp or something.
Easy peasy.
Yeah. What was that?
The Usual Suspects.
Right.
The Usual Suspects.
Tell me about it. See, the name means nothing to me. What,
you don't know what The Usual Suspects... You've never heard of a movie called The Usual Suspects?
Yes, I've watched it.
Well, that's it. That's
but all I remember is the end of it. Do you understand? That's how I watch films. I don't know whether I've seen them or not. I sit and watch them, and then it comes to the very end. I would have spotted. I know that. That's the boy with that limp. I saw it before. So I don't know. So what's it about?
It's all right.
Tell me what it's about, then I'll remember seeing it.
It's all right.
So I say to my wife, have I looked at this before? Tell me what it's about.
Everybody knows what The Usual Suspects was about. There's no need for me to go into it.
No, but I don't.
But you saw it.
Yeah, but what was it about?
It was about a man who was a leader of a bloodthirsty gang.
Yes.
And there was The Usual Suspects. And there was one man with a limp. Kevin, what was his name? Can't remember his name. Kevin Soso.
It doesn't matter. I don't know them anyway.
Kaiser Sose. And it turned out that he was the leader. That's a very complicated...
Yeah, but what was it about?
Stop now.
It's all right.
Okay? It's okay.
Just stop Usual
now.
Suspects.
Yeah.
What was the wee man? Was it Dustin
Stop now, please.
Was it Dustin
Everyone knows about The Usual Suspects.
Was it Dustin?
Everyone has seen it. It's all right. Stop.
Was it
Stop, please.
Dustin Hoffman?
No, it wasn't Dustin Hoffman.
What do you call the wee man who walked away at the end?
Kevin Thingamy. What's his name? I can't remember his name.
You don't know either.
I know his name. He was in American Beauty. What's his name? Thingamy. He's in charge of the Dunbar Theatre in London at the moment. His name, whatever his name is.
So it's him.
It's him. Yeah.
Was we Dustin Hoffman?
No, he was not in it. Dustin Hoffman was not in it. Hello, gentleman says to me. He said, "What are these cooking programs all about?" A lot of the disaffected are coming to me. A lot of people are complaining to me about various things.
Oh, don't talk.
Hello and welcome to Pointless Cooking that has nothing to do with anyone's actual life. Today we are making a very complicated recipe using ingredients that you don't have, utensils you've never heard of, and in a kitchen that's far bigger than your house. Did I ever tell you about the time that Paul Rankin came to our house?
Yeah. There's a call on one.
Don't dismiss me like that, Sean. Did I ever tell you about the time with Paul Rankin? What did I tell you about it?
What's it? And a big thing was there too as well.
Big thing was there too as well, yes. But did I not tell you what happened?
Kevin Spacey.
Kevin Spacey, that's it. Thanks.
Janet.
Very good. That's
Janet.
5 minutes. That's excellent.
Gerry, not Gerry Kelly, the other boy.
Listen, will you stop? Will you? I don't know what you're talking about. Please
Nolan,
stop doing this.
Holmes, Evan Holmes.
Nolan Holmes. Can you please tell us how to get home? Can you tell how to get home? Can you please tell me how to get hold of a beautiful song which you played a lot called Safe Spaces by the band Fairweather State? Well, they're not called Fairweather State, they're called Bellwether State. And that album, that song, and a new version of it, is on a new Northern Ireland CD called Oh Yeah, Contenders, New Songs from Northern Ireland Volume 1. But they've changed the end of it, and I'm not quite sure I prefer the new version to the last version. What I'll do is, I come down Kaiser Sose. That's it. Kaiser Sose. Kevin Spacey. And so, eventually, I get round to this.
Sam's on one. Sam?
Please stop. I've got a little email which says, please do more McCooey's. We do more McCooey's.
Well,
hello, John. Come in and sit down and have a cup of tea in your hand. You're looking a bit failed. Look at you. You look as if you've had a flu jab and you had a reaction. Here, sit down. Now, Jim, get up there and give John a seat. Listen, are you all right? Put your coat on, because you don't look all that hot. You're a bit pale. You're failed a bit, and you were far shook a while ago, and I thought you were well-mended, but you're not. Sit down there beside the fire. I'll poke the fire with a bit of a poker and get the swords turned. Listen, is there any crack with you at all? How's your mother? Is your mother all right? What are you doing? What year is it now? 1958. My God. What do you think of that 1947 Education Act? I don't like it at all. What do you think of the 1947 Education Act? Well, I'll tell you what I think, John. It's them Catholics. They'll be looking for houses, they'll be looking for jobs, they'll be looking for money, they'll be looking for everything. The whole thing. They'll be marching on Starmount. I'll tell you what. It's going to be ructions and it's 1958 now. Another 10 years, I'll give it. I'm getting me coat on. I'm going.
Sam's on one.
Hello, good morning, Sam.
And something else, Gerry.
What,
Are you reading that paper you're sitting on?
what paper? What do you want?
We request Tide Nolan. He can't do it. If anybody can walk on water, it's Gerry, of course. We grandson and myself want to bring the grandson to the first football match and desperately looking for a couple of tickets.
Which
If
match
anybody
do you want?
else can help me, I will pay for them.
Oh, that sounds like a move forward. I'm not used to hearing words like that. And BBC, we don't hear words like that. You never hear anybody here saying, I'm prepared to pay for it. Listen,
Yeah, well,
what match are you going to bring him to? Have you any idea what?
there's a football match on tomorrow night. Northern Ireland against Italy.
Oh, no, don't bring him to that. No, because
What?
that'll scare him. No, seriously.
No,
I'm-
well,
oh, no, what age is he?
I've got a plan conditioning for life, haven't I?
What age is he?
He's 7.
Well, that might scare him. Not that there's anything wrong with that, but that's just the people. You should start him off slow. Bring him
would
to see
scare him.
Crusaders or somebody.
Well, it would scare him if the Italians win.
But you're not thinking it might scare him, the noise and the bustle and the roar and the shouting?
No,
and that kind
no,
of
no.
thing?
He's all right.
Okay.
No, no
All right
problem.
then. Okay, you know him better than I do.
Thank you for your kindness and anticipation. Just a couple of tickets.
Okay.
And you have my number.
All right then. So anyone's got a
Thank
couple
you.
of tickets. Is the match tomorrow night?
The match is tomorrow night.
Tomorrow night, yeah. Northern Ireland versus Italy. All right then.
Incidentally, talking about the policeman and the boy with the limp, the big policeman from the country years ago was a wee bit illiterate, transferred to Belfast.
Yes.
And the days of the horses and carts, and the horse dropped dead in Chichester Street.
Uh-huh.
He had to fill an incident report out, so he trailed it into May Street. When you go.
Thank you for that. All right then. Okay.
Bye-bye.
Anybody's got a couple of tickets for the match? What is it? What is this? World Cup? What is it? European Cup? What is it? European qualifiers. Yeah, it's on Friday night. No, when's tomorrow night? Friday night. Yeah. Hello to Henry. Look, there's a wee tiny thing has appeared on my screen.
There's a wee call.
I know that. Hello to Henry Gerard Maloney of Polglass from his wife Sarah and all the family. Please play something happy to cheer him up. Yeah, you've come to the wrong program here. Where is he?
Who?
The man you're talking about.
He's on 2.
Hello, good morning.
Hello.
Yes, hello.
Hello, Gerry. It's
Yeah.
just, I was just wondering if you could do a wee appeal for me. It's, we're starting up a wee accordion band for girls in our local area in Newton Abbey.
Uh-huh.
But it's just, we've got a lot of interest there. We put flyers out. There was nothing for girls in our area, really. It's just all boys of football clubs and all we can join. There wasn't really anything for girls. And we sort of thought with a couple of women that just sort of, and we got together and decided this would maybe try a wee accordion band for girls. And we've got a lot of interest there, and had a couple of wee meetings, and a couple of load of girls turned up. And with no instruments like accordions, we've like one accordion between all the girls. We're trying to teach them. I was just wondering if you could do a wee appeal if anybody had any instruments that would maybe help us out.
Okay, so you're looking for accordions. Anyone that, okay. And
Accordion cymbals, anything like that, there would be of great help to us.
all right then, so where are you based?
We're based in, it's just in the Rathcoole estate there.
All right then, so anyone's got an accordion. You want something that's reasonably good. You don't want anything that's clapped out. You want something that's working. And if anybody would donate that bit, are you prepared to maybe pay a little, or would you rather?
Yes, we would pay a little if
All right.
possible. But it's obviously, if there's somebody who's willing to donate one, we'd be happy.
Uh-huh. I take it that you've considered the obvious difficulties in an accordion girls band.
Oh, yeah, no.
Just tell the girls to be very careful.
Yeah.
All right then. But
Okay, thank you.
They know that themselves. Okay.
Yeah.
All right then. We'll see.
Thank
We'll
you,
do
Jerry.
we'll do what we can for you. Okay.
Dead on. Thank you. I have my number anyway.
Thank you. Bye. So anyone who wants to donate or indeed sell at a small rate of money, because there's not huge money involved here, a number of accordions to those nice people, give us a ring here at 08459 555 678.
Safe spaces within. Safe here in my skin. No one else to take the blame. No one else is in the frame. Lying in the evergreen. Cold and pure.
That's a new recording of Bellwether State, a song called Safe Spaces from Oh Yeah Contenders, a new album out by the Oh Yeah Centre. It's called New Sounds from Northern Ireland, Volume 1. And there's a website address, www.ohyehbelfast.com, if you're interested in that. Interested in music, Lynette Faye and Karen Kirby will be presenting Blas Cool, recording it in Fiddler's Green in Portaferry tonight. Here I'm saying tonight.
I kid you not, I wouldn't tell you a lie.
Join them for performances from Gentry Morris, The Skin We're In, Marianne Green. Marianne Green's coming to this programme tomorrow morning. She's not going to sing all that much, but she might tootle a bit of a thing. Oh, she's great. Blas Cool recordings tonight at 7th of October at 7:30 at Fiddler's Green, Portaferry. All are welcome. Go along to that. Marianne Green, this is her. Just a wee blast of her before we go to the news. I think she's brilliant. Going to meet her tomorrow.
As I went walking down by the hill town, the lovely fresh mountains, they did me surround. I spied a pretty fair maid, to me she looked grand. She was gathering wildflowers on the banks of the Bann. I stepped up to her and this I did say, since nature has formed us to meet in this way, since nature has formed us, then here is my hand and we'll walk together on the banks of the Bann. Then into a corner where the change it took place, I knew by the flush that appeared on her face. Her feet they fell from her on the soft bed of sand, and she fell into my arms on the banks of the Bann. Now, young man, you have wronged me, come tell me your name, so when my babe is born, I may give it the same. My name is Willie Archer, and you must understand, and my home and habitation lies close to the Bann.
That's Marianne Green from Denmark, believe it or not. She'll be on the programme tomorrow. Also, a very interesting guy, Tony McLaughlin, originally from Newry, who spent a lot of time in the continent. So we've got two continental people who have great links to Northern Ireland tomorrow morning.
The spinning and the weaving in Rathfriland town, but when my term is ended, then here is my hand and we'll get married on the banks of the Bann. So come on, you pretty fair maid.
On 92 to 95 FM
and 1341 medium wave.
This is BBC Radio Ulster.
BBC News at 11 o'clock. I'm Nicola McHugh. The Housing Minister Alex Attwood has launched an investigation into the Housing Executive to examine procedures dealing with audit, fraud and personnel issues. It's connected to two recent BBC investigations into a dispute between the Executive and one of its main contractors, Red Sky. Housing Executive staff in West Belfast have faced hundreds of complaints from tenants. Red Sky deny any suggestions of substandard work or financial irregularities. Alex Attwood says he expects a report on his desk within 2 to 3 weeks.
What I'm doing is, by sending in audit and fraud experts, by sending in management and personnel experts, I'm going to make sure that if there is no contractors who have questions to answer, we prove that. But if there's one or two or three or more contractors that have questions to answer, then those questions will be asked.
The devolved administrations in Northern Ireland, Scotland and Wales are expected to issue a joint statement shortly, urging the coalition government to rethink its planned spending cuts. It's understood they'll say the cuts should be scaled back and phased in over a longer time period. There's been a hostile reaction from the unions to possible changes to public sector pension schemes being suggested by a government review. An interim report by Lord Hutton says public servants should retire later and contribute more. Trade unions have warned against cutting pension entitlements at a time when millions of jobs are threatened. But Joanne Stewart from the Institute of Directors says public sector pensions must be brought into line with private ones.
I think previously you might have been able to argue that the generous pensions in the public sector did make up for lower pay. But I think if you look at pay currently, pay in the public sector is now higher than the private sector at nearly every level. And even when you adjust for factors such as qualifications, we would believe the public sector still have a much higher overall package than most people within the private sector.
And now the weather with Stav Danaeus.
Hello there. Looks like being a lovely day in prospect. Once we clear any low cloud and mist in some rural spots, everywhere we'll see some sunny spells. There is the chance of 1 or 2 showers across counties Down and Antrim. Otherwise, most parts fine and dry with lots of sunshine. Fresh to southeasterly winds will be fairly brisk today. They'll take the edge off the temperatures somewhat, although we'll still see highs of 16 or 17 Celsius. But that wind will be noticeable along the east coast.
BBC News.
BBC Radio Ulster. Travel news.
In County Tyrone, traffic control is in place on the A5 Omagh Road at BallymcElroy outside Ballygolly. That's between Ballynasigart Road and Shantavney Road. Delays can be expected. And in Bangor, there will be various lane closures on the Bloomfield Road roundabout until 4:30 each day for the next month. At Belfast International Airport, the 25-2 Aer Lingus arrival from Faro is expected at 2:30. Aileen Moyna reporting.
Travel news on BBC Radio Ulster.
On Talkback with Wendy Austin today, should the government keep its promises on money for Northern Ireland? And if it doesn't, what else will it abandon? Has rallying got too fast? Some drivers are worried about really quick stages. If you're a fan, give me your view. Every penny counts these days, so we wondered, is it time to bring back bartering? And if I ask you now, you've plenty of time to mark National Poetry Day with a rhyme. Text me a couple of lines about what you're doing today and we'll form our own Talkback Poetry section. So join me and join in at 12.
What a good idea. I think I'll pen a few lines and send them to Wendy. What's in your poetry corner? What about this? Mary had a little lamb. She couldn't stop it grunting. She took it out into the yard and punished it severely. Wonderful. Absolutely. You think it's got a chance?
Barry, go on, put yourself on the mountain, put yourself on the mountain, I suppose. You won't come back till you find you a fossil, a skunk gives you smelly clothes. Now, Johnny, go on, put yourself in the movies, put yourself in the movies, I suppose. No, you won't come back till you're up on the screen with the Hoffmans or Pacinos, the Bogarts or the Brandos. Late last night, Daddy's telling stories. He's the FBI and he's bound for glory. The danger on the docks, boys, don't you know? Took me 6 years to be sure he was a golf pro. Candle 3. Now, Jamie, go on, put yourself in the music, put yourself in the music, I suppose. No, you won't come back till you're up on stage with the Louvin brothers and some of those. Barry left a note for Daddy, said stole $10 from your pants. And me and Jamie going to Tuckahoe Station, going to give that old train a chance. All right. Now, the thing is that Barry did want to go to Tuckahoe Station. He did steal $10 from my father's pants. And he tried to convince me to go with him. And I never wanted to do that. I was scared, you know, and it, like my granddaughter, Sam, said, she said, you know, it's all right to be a scaredy cat. Yeah, but anyway, I was scared. But Barry, you see, I felt like I was always the privileged one in the family because I was the baby. And if Barry asked me to do something, really wanted me to do something, I felt guilty if I didn't do it with him, didn't help him out. So I don't know, John was doing something else that day or something, but Barry wanted me to go with him to the Tuckahoe station to go for a ride on a train. So I didn't really have much say in the matter. I was abducted by my big brother. And I remember it was cold and it was snowing. And the wind was blowing so damn hard. And I was 6 and Barry was 8. And we got to the Tuckahoe train station and I was saying, no, I don't want to go on this. He said, well, look, okay, I know you're cold. Come on. Well, we'll get you a hamburger and a chocolate malted. So we went to this shop, a 6-year-old and an 8-year-old, Barry with a $10 bill. And we ordered a hamburger and a chocolate malted. And I'm sure the guy ended up being one of the guys that called the police or whatever. But we shared it, and I was freezing. And I said, no, I didn't want to go on. And I was crying. Barry said, come on, we just go for a quick ride on the train. And I said, no, I can't. He said, well, look, he said, here's what I want you to do. He said, right up there's a woods. Mile Square Woods is only a couple hundred yards up the wood, and there's some caves there that I can't fit in, and I want you. Come on with me. Come on, it'll be fun. I said, no, Barry, I don't want to. He said, you have to slide down these caves and see what's in there, and I'll hold your feet. So I went up there crying like crazy. Barry holds my feet. He puts me down this thing. Now, the thing is really more, it was really, I don't think it was a cave. I think the damn thing was a foxhole. Oh, and I crying like crazy. He pulls me, all right. I said, I got to go. I want to go home. So I'm crying. So off we go into the back down the mountain, this little mountain, and we're walking along the street, and it's snowing. All of a sudden, we see a police car coming toward us. Barry says, jump over the bushes, hurry up. So jump over the bushes, and we're just laying there, and I'm shivering, freezing cold next to the bushes and the thing, and all of a sudden I see these 2 big boots right at eye level, And I'm sure Barry was seeing the same thing on his side. He said, all right, boys, it's time to go home. Into the police car we went, and they took us home, and I remember when we got home, it was, they gave us a little lecture, and Mom and Dad just watched a little, and they were pretty stern, the police, about the lecture, and Mom and Dad were looking, and Dad got a little twinkle in his eye, He said, all right, boys, just don't do that one again, So, but Barry, he kept going back to Mile Square Woods and examining stuff there and bringing home all sorts of different rocks to show us, and later on he became this genius volcanologist that invented the formula that predicts when volcanoes will erupt, but it all started with foxholes, and I never got any damn credit. All right, 2, 3, and late last night, Daddy's telling stories. He's the FBI, and he's bound for glory. Danger on the docks, boys, don't you know? It took me 6 years to be sure he was a golf pro. Pedal to one, boys. Now, the truth is, Dad told the stories every night, and he did tell us that he was in the FBI. And John, we were sworn to secrecy. And every few nights he'd tell us about some dangerous secret adventure, like capturing smugglers on the docks and hiding in oil drums and stuff like that. And several years later, I went to high school, and the first day in high school, I met a kid named Willie Watson. And we were just meeting each other for the first time, and after talking to each other for quite a few minutes, he said, oh, by the way, what does your father do? And I said, Willie, most people think he's a golf pro. I said, what? I said, my father's a golf pro. 1, 2 now, Barry, go on. Put yourself on the mountain, I suppose. No, you won't come back till you find you a foxhole or a skunk gives you smelly clothes.
That's Chip Taylor, of course. He was in the studio here yesterday, and he was in the Black Box last night. And somebody sends me an email about that. What's that? Hold on a second. Somebody was there. Oh, can you ask anyone that was at the Chip Taylor gig last night, do they know why he was writing down our names when we met? Just making sure he's good. We tried to give him our phone numbers to pass them on to Brad Pitt, but he rushed off. Oh, and say hi to Tony and his friend who were chasing after the fiddle player. You get that kind of thing, you see. I'd have chased after myself. I'd have been there. Catherine and Marie Claire. That's, of course, Chip Taylor and Kendall Carson, who were in here yesterday, and they were in the Black Box in Belfast last night and are here in Derry, Stoke Londonderry tonight in the Playhouse Theatre. So if you get a chance to go and see them, go along because they're really special. And that was from their album. She's on along with him there. And that's an album called Yonkers, New York. That's his new album. And there's a website, www.trainwreckrecords.com. There we go. Hello, good morning.
Hello.
Yes, who's this, I wonder?
This is James.
Yes, James.
Gerry, I tell you what I'm looking for. I'm looking for anybody who could give me clarinet lessons in the Newcastle area in County Down.
Clarinet lessons in the Newcastle area?
Yes.
You strike me perhaps as a man who may not be in the first flush of youth.
That is correct. I am retired.
Yes. You see, one of the things that one must guard against when one retires is not to do things that perhaps, might be detrimental. You see, a clarinet is a very strange instrument, and I myself have tootled a clarinet in the past.
Yes.
And how's your wind?
Oh, it's good.
That's
I can
all
actually
right.
play a few scales and stuff like that, and halfway through one of the books,
Oh, you're no stranger to it then?
Oh, no, I can read the music and all, but playing a guitar
that's good.
since 1956,
Well, you should be ready. Do you know foot tapper? Do you? Do you know foot tapper?
Yeah.
Ding, 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 ding. That's the most remarkable tune. It's followed me all my life.
Yeah,
and there'll
so
come a
great.
time and I'll go through maybe 3 days without hearing it. Right, so you want to be a clarinet player and you want to go further?
Oh, yes, indeed.
All right then, anyone in the Newcastle area? How far have you got?
I'm halfway through one of the first books sort of thing, playing, Christmas carols and hymns and things like that,
Okay, all right
and,
then.
the first part of the saints go marching in,
Well, the first part's the hardest bit. All right then. Clarinet players, clarinet tutors in Newcastle, their ears will prick up and give us a ring here at 08459 555 678.
Thank you very much, Gerry. Thank you now.
We'll have a man at your door before the end of the week.
Thank you now. Bye-bye.
All right then. Here's a few lines, look. It's windy. My legs are bendy from rickets when I was wee. Will you flash your lights on moonlit nights and lift your leg for me? I can't do David.
Listen, Eamon White, who works for SuperValue,
Yes.
drivers, delivers to the stores. Could you play something by Smokey for him and the rest of the drivers? Please?
Goodness.
Would you?
So what did you say? Something
By Smokey.
Oh, well, you didn't emphasise that. You say play something by Smokey for the drivers. I mean, it didn't make sense. You should emphasise Smokey. All right then.
I think I did.
No, I don't think you emphasised it at
I
all.
don't
No?
think you were listening.
No, I wasn't listening. That's probably the answer.
What about Janet Dowd? Could you play something by Janet Dowd?
Yes, I will eventually.
All right.
Great show yesterday, kid. I turned off the radio by dunking it 3 times in a 50-gallon drum of American ice cream soda. I turned to Tommy, my cat, and I said, "What a great singer Chip Taylor is. And what a talented family he comes from." "I do so agree," said Tommy. "I wonder if he's anything to Dennis Taylor. I wonder if they ever go down to Jim Joe Garvin's." "New balls!" yelled Tommy. And he hit me in the gob with the tennis ball, changing the subject. After a lunch of tripe stuffed with tripe, then wrapped in tripe, Tommy said, "It has come to my attention that you," and he pointed straight at me, "are in the habit of standing in a darkened room upstairs. When a car comes round a Patel's corner, you shine a bright torch in your face while grinning most horribly. Just how many accidents have you been the cause of in the past week?" 16, I said, included 2 police cars. "Are you aware that the police have named you the Phantom of the Opera? And police sketches of you are being pasted on every lamppost and slow-moving pensioner all over Belfast?" "I know," I giggled. "I also know that the police sketches are the dead spit of Michael McGimpsey. I also know that a special meeting in Stormont ended in a fiasco, with Michael McGimpsey stating, 'I'm not the Phantom of the Opera.' Nigel Dodd screaming, 'The President is not a crook.' Mark Durkin Goldring, 'The reality still is.' Jim Rogers screaming, 'Nay, nay, thrice times nay.' Katrina Ryan shrieking, 'Sure, aren't you grand? What are you looking at grammar for schools for? She's all grow up the same and you shall get no job. Sure, aren't you grand? Stevie as are.' Tommy smirked and said, 'I thought Sammy Wilson would be on that list.' 'No,' I said. 'That would be hitting below the belt.'"
Now that your darling keeps you home, there goes the best war we've ever had. Now that nobody's all alone, we'll turn forgiveness to forget. If you're in town, you'll look me up. dance the days into the cups. And you will talk of golden rivers flowing, giving you enough. Bye bye years of deals and dolls. Bye bye Montreal. What wicked patterns we succumb from the warnings we have run. Now from a figure we have cut the mold and filled the stadium. If in as many years I call you from the middle of it all, will you forgive me or forget that we were ever born at all? Bye bye years of deals and dolls. Bye bye Montreal. Bye bye years of deals and dolls. Bye bye Montreal.
That's a song called Bye Bye Montreal from a Canadian lady called Amelia Curran. What are you doing in there? She's in here with me. What are you doing there? What are you doing? You're sitting down doing something. What are you? I can't see what you're doing. You say, what are you doing? I'm afraid to look. What are you doing? You give me these things. Oh, thank you very much. Why you don't speak in here? Doesn't like being in here. You don't like being in here. Oh, hello, good morning.
Hello, Gerry.
He doesn't like being in here. Geordie, how are you?
Well, it's just like he at the Rupo Hotel.
Excuse me?
You were in the Rupo Hotel.
I'm in the Robo Hotel on a weekly basis. I'm there all the time.
Oh, are you? Huh?
Yeah.
And the shutters pulled down.
The shutters were pulled down. Well,
And you were looking at a drink.
How do you know that?
Huh? And then I said, no, shutters is down.
Well.
And then you said, I'm Gerry Anderson.
I never did that.
Oh, you did. I seen you.
No,
but I did.
Let me just explain.
And you stumped off for you to
No.
ring them.
This is a lie. This is a... Have you encouraged Geordie to tell the story?
Sure I haven't. I've been in with you.
I know, but you wouldn't speak in here.
Yeah.
I thought you'd...
No, it's not now. It's not lying.
Let me just go back for a minute.
And you went up and you said, I'm Gerry Anderson.
I did not do that.
And the man said, I don't care who you are.
That is a lie.
Shutters is down.
That is a lie. A ball...
And then you stumped off.
That's a calumny.
No, you stumped off. Oh, you were cross.
No, you see, you claimed you've witnessed this, but I put it to you, and I say to you now...
I have witnesses, yes.
You're a liar.
No, how do you call me a liar?
I'm sorry.
I have witnesses.
Who's the witness?
To stand over it.
Have you witnesses?
Yes, that and Chitley.
That's a different matter. The accusation is that I, whilst standing in the bar of the Europa Hotel late one night, when the shutters had been pulled down, indicating to the people
and
that
you were looking at drink,
and me looking more drink, and the accusation is that I walked up and said, "Don't you know who I am?"
I'm Gerry Anderson.
Do you think, Sean? Do you think I would do a thing like that?
Yes.
Thank you, Sean.
All right then, let's move. Maybe I did do it, but it might have been the drink talking.
I could have been.
But see, sometimes...
Well, Gerry, all that's beside the point.
I know it is.
But I don't know why you don't know why I know him now. Oh, well, his daughter phoned me.
Uh-huh.
Stick O'Toole.
Yes.
Aye.
Mhm.
Oh, Stick O'Toole.
Is
He was born in County Tyrone.
Is Geordie all right?
Yeah, Stick O'Toole, yeah.
Who's Stick O'Toole? Who's
You know
Stick
Stick-
O'Toole?
You know, you've talked to Geordie before about Stick O'Toole.
I have never talked to Geordie before about Stick O'Toole.
Hasn't he, Geordie?
No.
I've never heard of stick toe.
Gerry, he's known all over Ireland with a light in his feet. At the time of it is 19, he struck when Mickey lost both legs in a garden act and the lawnmower over his legs.
Really?
Cut the legs off.
Oh my God! Are you serious?
I'm serious.
Is he a man, and he's still alive, and he's around?
And then Mickey showed guts, determination was made both the medal and dancing for fighting and earned them nickname Sticks.
Yes, okay.
The world of Irish dance was stunning and made to learn that Mickey O'Toole had carved 2 wooden legs from his mother's kitchen table and was practicing day and night to attain the title of the fastest Irish dancer in the world. And to the astonishment of everyone in just 2 years, Mickey Stick O'Toole.
I think we may have missed something along here, Sean. Is this man still alive? Is this a story of a man, a legendary man, who lost a couple of legs and then carved wooden legs from his mother's...
He's still alive.
He's still alive? What a great story.
And he cut the... he cut his wooden legs, he cut them off his ma's table.
Mm-hmm. Well, you see, this is a bizarre tale. We'll have to verify this. Do you know this man?
Were you verified the word lay at his feet, wooden through the feet maybe?
And eventually, did he dance again?
He danced again. He was the World Irish Dancing Championship.
Mm-hmm. I think I would have heard of that somehow. But
Mickey O'Toole had carved 2 wooden legs from his ma's kitchen table.
Mm-hmm.
And was practicing day and night to attain the title of the fastest Irish dancer in the world.
This is recently? This is within living memory?
And to the astonishment of everyone in just 2 years, Mickey Stick O'Toole was back at the top.
Well, thank you for that story. We need to get Janet to...
Janet's going to Google
that, Mickey Stick O'Toole.
Yeah.
We need to find out more about this man, or if he isn't still extant.
What part of Ireland's he from, Geordie, do you know?
County Tyrone.
County Tyrone.
Well, close enough. I see no reason why we can't talk to this man.
Well, he was born in County Tyrone.
Yeah, well, there's no reason at all why he wouldn't be still there. All right, we'll try and contact this man. Geordie, thank you for the information. You're a mine of information.
Thank you, Paul. Your mom's still working.
Yes, indeed.
Bye.
Thank you. I didn't know what was going to come next there, you know. I don't think Geordie is...
O'Toole, Janet's Googling.
Really?
Drawing a blank.
There's a lot of cooking sherry today, I'd say. There's a man writes to me and he says, please take this. Now, here's something that maybe perhaps we should consider. Please take this as a formal request for a weekly feature each Monday morning comprising of a critical appraisal of Joe Mahon's performance on the previous evening's episode of The Lesser Spotted Ulster.
Mm-hmm.
Also, here's a script idea. Joe Mahan meets the Dungiven car salesman and Daniel O'Donnell in one episode. Next episode, he meets Pat Jennings and Nadine Coyle. I think this is a ruse to get us in the show. That Kate McCusker song that you've been featuring this week is really great. Good find. Given your background in social anthropology, I was just curious to find out if you have any insights into the following. When starting conversations, people often use the phrase, "How are you doing?" The response is often, "Fine." And the conversation moves on. But I myself find myself saying this little phrase without really caring how the other person is doing at all. And also I find myself answering fine even though I'm not doing fine. In other words, I find myself lying to people who say to me, "How are you doing?" I say, "Oh, fine." And I don't mean it. Do you think the cavemen asked each other how they were doing? Or is this a more modern greeting that we've all learned to use so that we appear polite and caring? Oh, well, here's a thought. I was listening to Radio Foyle yesterday afternoon and Mark Patterson was on doing his good show. And there was a lady on, he was talking to a North American Indian, a Canadian Indian. And do you know what she said?
No.
She explained why Indians say how.
Right.
Do you know why?
No.
How?
Yeah.
Do you know why?
No, there used to be a program on TV called How.
Yes, there was.
It wasn't after that. No.
Oh.
Right.
Do you ever see that? Do you ever wonder why Indians go, how? Do you ever wonder why?
I've never wondered why, honestly.
Would you
I've
care
never wondered why.
No, seriously, would
That's
you
the
care
truth.
to
No,
I'd put it to the people in there.
Right.
Janet?
I've been honest with you. I've never even stopped to think.
Is Janet on her own there?
She is.
Are we down to the one woman now?
Yeah, down to the bare bones. Oh. You know what I mean? Sorry, Janet.
Sorry, Janet. She's probably never been described as bare bones before.
You know.
And she's wearing a dress.
Yeah.
Does anyone in there have any idea?
How? No.
There's a perfectly innocent explanation. I'll give you a clue.
Mm-hmm.
The Mexicans call the Americans gringos. Gringos.
Right.
Hey, gringo. ¿Qué pasa? Hey, gringo. Why do they call them gringos?
Do you know what you had me saying, "Que pasa?"
Que
As
pasa?
I was out walking last night, and I was walking along saying to myself, "Que pasa?
Que pasa?
Yeah, you did, you.
Best thing you ever did.
Anyway, back to how.
It's therapeutic. No. Why do the Americans, why do the
go on.
Mexicans call the Americans gringos? Why?
Go on, I don't know.
Because during initial contact, during a particular period, one of the more popular songs in Europe was "Gringo,
Gringos,
the rest is so, the rest is so."
right.
And when the army and the Americans they'd all sing this together, "Gringo, the rest is so," as they were going along on their horses. The Mexicans going, "Hey, sing the song." Well,
Was that
Gringo,
song-
the rest is so.
was
We
that
don't want
the
your
Alamo?
stinging rashes. We don't want your stinging songs, Gringo. Gringo. I see.
Has it got to do with the Alamo? Was that played or something? What's that about?
Could have been that as well. Yeah.
I think there's something. Right, anyway.
But that's
go
the
on.
origin, the song.
Right, yeah,
Could have
yeah.
been the Alamo as well.
Yeah, go on.
And how? Right.
How? Go on.
Because the Indians noticed that whenever the white man met each other, they'd say, "How's it going? How's the crops? How's this? How's your wife? How's the kids?
How's your mother? Is your father still working?
How's your father? Is your mother still working?"
Yeah.
And they went, so whenever an Indian met a white man, he went, "Ho."
Oh. That's where it originated. How's your mother?
How's your
father
mother?
still
Yeah,
working?
how's your mother? Is your father still working?
Came from there.
That's exactly right.
that.
Isn't that wonderful?
Excellent.
The things that we don't know.
Yeah.
And there's other things I have to read here. Why does that song not mention Ballygowan? A lot of people upset that Johnny Cash song. Why it doesn't mention Ballygowan? As a matter of fact, it doesn't mention Derry Stroke Londonderry either. But get used to it. Is that really Johnny Cash? And why didn't Derry get a mention? You see, starting this thing. It's a song called. It's a group called Keep It Cash. It's a Johnny Cash tribute. Of course, Johnny Cash did record "I've Been Everywhere" on an album called Chained, and as we mentioned before, the Springfields recorded it, an English version of it, but now there's an Northern Ireland version. And Johnny Cash has been to Ballyhalbert. I live there, said wee Babs. These are some messages here. I'm in bed with my throat spray, strepsils, and hot honey and lemon. I've had a flu jab and I got a reaction. Temperature was soaring during Nolan, but has come down since you came on. You are a cold and flu remedy. Oh, you see? Just reading some stuff here. Good morning, Golf, Mike, Alpha, and Syria Charlie. Would there be any chance you're playing some Red Hot Chili Peppers today? Can you get Sean to do some Jackie Bites instead of Friday night's match? Will you watch Friday night's match?
No.
You see.
Oh, but why won't I watch it?
It'll be Jackie.
It will be Jackie, but what is it? Highlights.
Highlights only.
Highlights only, and Jackie doesn't come out with his Jackie Bites during highlights.
Was it on Sky or something like that?
I think so.
I don't
so we,
know.
we don't
Are you
have
sure
it.
about that?
Are
you sure we can't see the full match?
I am 100% certain.
All right, then, okay.
It's when there's highlights on BBC at around 20 past 10 or so on Friday night. But it's just Jackie's no good with the Jackie Bites. It's no, it doesn't get excited because it's just. I think. Well, I don't know. Is he actually there?
Probably not. Anyway, listen, big ears. I would ask you to play John Candon by Cara Dillon for last week, and you're not listening. Gerry, which pub in Limavady Valley is Chip Taylor playing? It's an identified suspect because they recognised his eyes. Oh dear. Oh, that's great. I love it when I enjoy myself. Do you like it when I'm happy?
Yeah, when you're happy, it's great.
When you're happy, I'm happy. Everybody's happy. This is Naomi.
My wife's not happy with you.
Is she not?
Something you said about me yesterday, I told her.
About your arse disappearing?
Yes. She said it's not.
Your arse has gone away.
It is not.
It is. Mine is getting better, but you're getting a big flat arse. You stop wearing jeans.
I'm not.
In the sunlight, didn't realize you would win. Good with your words, had to find out it was a sin to tell me that
like a book that only I could read just for me. And all that black ink, I can turn these pages and let me leave. Oh, but you told me rainbows were tricks of the light. 'Cause didn't I know it only rained here at night? You told me flowers, they don't smell good. It's just something that I believe to be true. Say goodbye to rainbows and now I'm gone. I guess you
That's it.
Cheers.
That's a young girl from Northern Ireland called Naomi O'Rourke, and I think she's gone to live in London now. I think she went last week. I managed to track her down. Too late, she was gone. But she may be back. She's going to come into the studio and sing for us. That's a song called Rainbows. Some various requests here and very odd things, I think. Things that should be tackled, you know. A caller says a gringo is a Spanish word for foreigner. Yeah, I just explained that. It's Spanglish. You know what Spanglish, don't you? You know what Spanglish is? Spanglish is a cross between Spanish and English. A gringo is a Spanish word for foreigner, but its origin is gringo the Russian. Gringo the whatever it is, yeah. And also, a man wants to know what Geordie looks like. He looks like a blackhead that's been squeezed.
Henry, no, that's very cruel.
Well, go on and try and describe it. Go on to describe.
Geordie, okay.
About 5 foot, what, 7?
He would be around your height.
I'm 5'11".
5'11".
I'm 5'11".
You're not 5'11".
Geordie, I'm bigger than Geordie.
Where did you get this 5 foot? I want Ken to come in and measure you.
Well,
Bring Ken!
No,
I want Ken to come in and measure with his...
I won't submit
Ken's
to
got
it.
a big tape.
I won't submit to it.
Right, you're about 5'9.5". Geordie's something similar in height.
He's not. He's smaller than me. I look down on him. And he's, well...
Wiry. Described as a wiry man.
No, he's wiry, yes.
Yes.
A variety of hats.
Grey hair. Straight hair, grey hair. Craggy face.
Yeah.
A lived-in face.
Yeah, good fit for his hard as
very,
steel.
Very hard,
fit for his
man.
age.
Yes. There'd be a good day's work on him. And a man that enjoys his meat, as they say.
It was meat, yeah. Hello, Golf. Please help us. We're going up to Stroke City for the first time this weekend. Would you have any recommendations of things to do and see and a lively bar for a few jars on a Saturday night? Well, that actually rules out all the places you go. That's many thanks from Kathy and Mal. P.S. Please wish Mac McEwen a very happy 8th birthday. Right, come to Stroke City for the weekend. Things to do. Well, one of the first things you should do, really, is take a walk around the walls. It's very, very good. Gives you a sense of space. Gives you a sense of history.
Check the museum.
Check the museum. Tara Museum. And generally just wander out. Wander about.
Walk around along.
And there's a bar. You have to be very careful about recommending bars because if you recommend one bar, the rest of them get upset. But Chip Taylor recommended a bar here yesterday.
Sandino's.
Yes, that's. I like that. I was there last Saturday night actually. And they put the shutters down and I said, "Do you know who I am?" And I stormed out. Don't forget to play something from your core, like A Long Time Ago or The Hills Above Drumquin by Davy Hammond. The Hills Above Drumquin. Gerry, tell that man to go to www.worldticketshop.com for tickets for tomorrow night's game, the mighty Northern Ireland. Can you please play Kendall Carson's song I Like Trucks? I meant to do that, you know. I meant to bring that down today, but I forgot. Could you please play a Bruce Springsteen song there, please, like a good wee chap? You see, don't like that. Don't
Do you
like
know-
that. Is there one comedian in Northern Ireland who can do a comedy routine without talking about the troubles, religion, the army? Come on, lads, widen your scope. Give us some hope of a new day dawning. Don't leave us yawning.
I missed Tim last night.
I think that may be referring to that. I wouldn't be entirely sure, though.
I missed it. Hello. There's a call.
I spit on your call.
Graham.
I know you say you're ready to change, but I need to get it down on paper. It's in your face, you're ready to blame the first guy in line to catch the train. I'll save your seat, 'cause you don't stand for what you preach. Singing with a broken string, tell me what you really mean. Do you know what you want? Well, beating up on yesterday, I was on my rollerblades, rolling on, moving on. It's time to take the time to create, 'cause you're running late, the doors are closing. So tip your hat, and you might get back. Whatever you need is up ahead. This train won't stop for anybody to get off. You're singing with a broken string, tell me what you really mean. Do you know what you want? Well, beating up yesterday, I was on my rollerblades, rolling on, moving on. You're singing with a broken string, tell me what you really mean. Do you know what you want? Do you know? We got to run with it. It will get better, and at least we're stuck together. Make your mind up. Know what you need to say before you shout at me. So take your seat, 'cause standing only wears our feet. Singing with a broken string, tell me what you really mean. Do you know what you want? You beat it up yesterday, I was on my rollerblades, rolling on, moving on. You're singing with a broken string, tell me what you really mean. Do you know what you want? Well, beat it up yesterday, I was on my rollerblades, rolling on, moving on. Do you know what you want?
That's Eliza Doolittle. That's a song called, I don't know what it's called. What's it called? Rollerblades, that's it. A gentleman rings in and he says, and listen to this.
Okay.
He said, I had the pleasure of throwing Geordie out of a pub outside of Banbridge once. He was sitting on a bar stool. I approached him, yanked him off, and he was only 5'5". And that's what I said. What makes you think that Geordie is taller and the same height as my 5'11.5"? What makes you think that? You're entirely wrong. Your sense of perspective has deserted you. It's because your arse has disappeared.
No, Geordie is
See, when your
now-
arse goes away, it affects your whole being, because you have now become flat-arsed, which means that you can't wear jeans anymore. And I'm sorry I upset your wife, but these truths had to be told. You used to have a wee sticky out arse, and it went away. It went away through the ravages and the passage of time. Get used to it. Mine is great, but I don't know what happened to yours. I think it's your diet. You're walking too much and drinking too much Guinness, giving out about pointing your finger at people. That's what makes your arse go away. And here's something that upsets me. This is annoying. This is a thing that you'd be guilty of. I know for a fact that when I say this to you, you will agree. I do not agree. Here, I'll just read this.
Do you remember Graham's on one?
I know that.
Okay, right.
Will somebody, for God's sake,
Right.
please tell Barra Best, the weatherman,
Yes.
who has seemingly taken over from Angie and Cecilia,
Right.
will somebody go out and tell him to buy a suit that fits him? You see, this is one of the things that people don't realise.
No.
This is the style now. Do you not think his suit's too wee? I thought you would complain about that.
Janet said it's 2 weeks.
No, it's not 2 Janet.
I
This is
don't
the
know.
current fashion. The man is very fashionable. The man looks well. Barra Bennett is one of the best dressed men on television. But everybody thinks he suits her 2 because we're still living back in the days of the first communion suits and your confirmation suit, your charcoal grey. Do you renounce the devil I do and all his
They
pomps?
still have the big shadow. They still haven't got rid of the big shadow. They may be the best dressed in Northern Ireland, but the big shadow is still behind them when they read the weather. We're the only station in the world that has a big shadow on their screen. Do you realise that? When they read the news. Or
There's a
the
man
who's
coughing
that?
there. A man coughed there for no good reason. Hello there.
Jeffrey, will you lend us a tenner?
Hey, yeah. All
I'll
right, Jeffrey,
spit-
what can we do for you today?
I'll spit in your spittoon.
No need for that. Spit in your own time.
Now, Jerry, you've already managed to square off a debate this morning about the origins of gringo,
Yes.
the word gringo.
Yes.
I was very impressed by that. We'll have to go and check up on that with the Mexicans, all right?
Yes.
Down there on the Texan border, where 28,000 people have died.
That's right.
In the last, yes, I know, it's shocking.
Do you know,
listened
I
to
was
the
in
news.
Mexico. I was in Mexico last year, and I saw a thing which should be a lesson for everyone in Northern Ireland. Do you know in Northern Ireland, when the Troubles were on, and you used to be driving along, and you'd be stopped by the army, and they always say, "Hello, mate. What's your name?" You see, and a lot of people, not everyone, would be kind of, apprehensive and maybe would dislike the army. But actually, when you go to Mexico, you realise how bad things could have been. Now, when I was in Mexico this time last year, there was some kind of I don't know what was going on, but there was some kind of unrest in the state, and there was a lot of army guys flying about in jeeps, and there were there were roadblocks, right? And they would stop you, you see. And do you know what would happen? You'd be sitting there, and the guy would come over, and he'd have the fag hanging out of his mouth, and it'd be his tunic would be open, it'd be a button missing, and maybe a bit of food, down the front of it, and his rifle would be dirty.
Is this a Mexican or an American?
Mexican.
Okay.
And he'd be saying, "Oh, where you going?" And you don't mess with those guys. You don't because you know that the wrong move, that you've finished. So,
Oh, absolutely. They're kidnapping people on a regular basis.
those are rough guys. You're talking about the army guys in Mexico. The Mexican army.
Yeah, well...
Rough guys.
Yeah, no, I mean...
rough guys.
Our dear President Obama has been asked, to send more troops down there than he's willing to.
That's right.
So it just goes on,
Serious place.
Okay.
I was in a place...
You're going to keep
Sean,
talking, aren't you?
Say to him.
No,
Tell him.
Graham, you see, you don't realise, Graham.
Explain to him.
Yeah.
He's only using you, Graham.
I'm manipulating him. Go on.
Yeah, he's pretending to get you on air, and you have something to say, but he won't listen to you. It's all about him.
Tell me he has to wait until I finish.
You have to wait until he's probably got another story about
I have another
Mexico.
story.
You see, so but
Listen, Jerry.
I don't let him talk now, Graham. Go on,
Right.
you tell
Look,
your story.
well,
When I was
okay,
in
here's
Go
the
ahead,
thing.
Graham.
All right.
When I was in Mexico...
you see.
Go ahead, Graham.
Right. Jerry.
Yes.
Right. You've already managed to get around the gringo issue, right? That's good. Now, I want to change the subject. You're a musician, so you'd have us believe, right?
I used to be. I
You
retired.
told us your life story yesterday, man. It was wonderful. It's a great little bit of insight. Well, the day before yesterday.
I can't
Don't worry,
remember.
you didn't give it away and you won't be getting it back and all that stuff. It's your private life.
Yes.
Now, I play a bit of guitar since I was 17.
Yes.
Right? When my father, who was Ministry of Defence man, looked at this burgeoning long-haired beardo weirdo and said, "I'll buy you a guitar because all you do is listen to the mamas and the papas and all that stuff." So I've been playing for a while. Now, I have a question about the tremolo arm
Yes.
of the guitar.
Yes.
Right. Now, I'd like to start a debate, not necessarily a mass debate, all right, about this
Stop
musical
that. Stop
conundrum.
That. Stop that.
Here's
Do you
the
hear him? Do you hear him? Do you hear that?
Mm-hmm.
You can't have that. None of that. None of that. None of that now. I think I played this before.
Well, if you want to take it off and
What's
talk
a
to
spring
Rosemary.
breathing jasmine and rose? What's the summer with all its gay train? Or the splendor of autumn to those who've bartered their freedom for gain? Let the love of our land sacred rise to the love of our people succeed. Let friendship and honor unite and flourish on both sides of Tweed. No sweetness the senses can cheer, which corruption and bribery bind. No brightness that gloom can e'er clear, for honor's the sum of the mind. Let the love of our land sacred rise to the love of our people succeed. Let friendship and honor unite and flourish on both sides of Tweed. Let virtue distinguish the brave, place riches in lowest degree. Think them poorest who can be a slave, them richest who dare to be free. Let the love of our land sacred rise to the love of our people succeed. Let friendship and honor unite and flourish on both sides of Tweed. Let friendship and honor unite and flourish on both sides of Tweed.
Now, that's that young lady who sent me an album. Her name is Janet Dowd. I'm just trying to check what that song's called because I never heard it before. It's a song called Both Sides of the Tweed. And that's good. That's Janet Dowd, and she's got a new album out, which is excellent, which is called 300 Miles. That's the one I played, John Condon off, and another song called Loving Hannah. So that's 3 tracks I played. A gentleman rings in to say, can I thank the person who handed my wallet? Can I thank the person who handed...
What's so difficult about that?
I don't know.
Person who handed in.
Can I thank the person who handed my wallet into the Ulster Rugby Ground at Ravenhill Road, and thanks to the rugby ground staff who contacted me. That's from Darren. Anyway, a gentleman writes to me and he said, I'm aware, this is about Facebook. Do you use Facebook?
Oh, well, that's, I've just been talking about that. By the way, Rosemary's on too, waiting for you. Someone has set up a Facebook on my behalf, and I have nothing to do with it.
Oh, really?
I know absolutely nothing.
I saw that,
about
you know. That's why I asked you.
No.
I've seen you up on it. And I
So you
said,
know.
it's not like you. You're a Luddite.
Sorry, well, but I don't even know how to...
So somebody is an imposter?
Yes, there's an imposter out there with
God.
my Facebook.
Right. Hello, good morning.
Hello?
Yes, who's this?
Rosemary.
Rosemary, hello.
Hello. You can be a bit tongue-tied there, Gerry.
I don't know what happened to me.
Were you
There's
on the grog last night?
No, I don't know what's wrong with me. I think it's lack of drink.
Right, you were talking about bits and pieces of poetry. Well, I've written one here if you're interested in listening to it. It's a rather quirky, light-hearted look at an affliction that only the poor women of the species have to put up with.
What's that then?
The madness of menopause.
Really?
Really?
Okay, go ahead then.
Right. Well, when I got up this morning, my temperature had gone mad. This menopause is an awful thing. Oh, when it's over, I'll be glad. So much to do every day. Well, I don't know how I'll get through. I've tried potions and pills that cure all ills, and patches, by all accounts they're new. And the man in your life, God love him, sure he doesn't know what way to turn. You love him 1 minute and hate him the next, his advances you will spurn. And God is for the temper, well don't even mention that to me. At the drop of a hat your mood can change and all around you flee. Now this is to the powers that be. Please listen to my plea. You spent millions on your satellites, flying men off to the moon. As far as I'm concerned, that's a place for them all. Find a cure for the menopause soon.
Is that it?
Well, that's it. I think
That's
it's
very
enough.
good. Did you write that yourself?
I did.
Well, many women will realise that that is nothing but the truth.
Absolutely.
God bless you, my dear.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Bye.
Stuck outside of Dallas with the rain that's coming down on my parade. Not knowing when it's gonna let up got me thinking here about the love we used to make. We used to talk and not get mad, cry to songs we thought were sad, oh yeah. And never once did we lose sight of what was wrong and what was right. We got kids, one on the way, and what will friends and family say when we are through? For now I'll be right by your side and hope that things will turn out right, but I'm staying here with leaving on my mind. Maybe I've gone too long and didn't pay no mind to what was wrong. Didn't help when I would call, and I had no idea where you had gone. Now what's a man supposed to do is stay right here and see this till the end. But I could only take so much of what no one on this earth is fit to judge. The kids are finally all grown up, they'll be my friends and call me pops, and that'd be nice. Now I'll be right by your side and hope that things will turn out right, but I'm staying here with leaving on my mind. Kids are finally all grown up, they'll be my friends and call me pops, and that'd be nice. For now I'll be right by your side and hope that things will turn out right, but I'm staying here with leaving on my mind. For now I'll be right by your side and hope that things will turn out right, but I'm staying here with leaving on my mind. Leaving on my mind. Leaving on my mind. Leaving on my mind.
That's an interesting song. It's called Staying Here. It's by Raoul Malo, who used to be the lead singer in the Mavericks. The reason I play that is because it sounds like a song that's been designed by a committee. Like a horse designed by a committee is a camel. That is like a cross between Little Green Apples and Gentle on My Mind. You can almost hear the two songs. It's as if somebody melded them together. That's a most amazing thing. The gentleman I talked to a while ago, Andy, is that Andy? Andy, good morning.
Good morning. Yes.
How are you, sir?
Not too well. I haven't been well since the last time I was talking to you. I've been ill in bed.
What seems to be the trouble, Andy? Is it flu or something?
Different things, bad with depression, flu, that.
Really?
No, that's just about that. Was Emma had rang back to say that one man from Ballymena had rang up about the stylophone saying I would give £25 or something, but with me being ill and not on the phone, I never was able to get back to him. Just before I was going to try him. Just before I would try him, I was just wondering if you had heard any more about it or anything.
Well, what we did establish was that, that's a pretty good price.
Aye, that's what you were saying. They're one on eBay at 30 or something, but no offer.
That's pretty good because, apparently they're not all that rare because there's quite a lot of them about. And
I thought they'd be...
I'm sorry to hear that you're not well.
Uh-huh.
And you're a man. You're living on your own. You have no phone or anything, so you have to make an effort to phone.
That's what makes everything so hard. No phone, no friends, no.
Mm-hmm. Well, why did you suddenly decide to sell that now at this stage?
Well, just take these notions that I want to clear out everything before I finally go. I know no future.
Don't be thinking like that. I mean, you're not. I mean, when you say you finally go, you're thinking about when you finally pop your clogs. You thinking of move. You mean that, do you?
Yes. Getting ready to go.
But I mean, you shouldn't say that.
I know that, but that's just the way I feel.
Can I ask you what age of a man are you?
60. 64, actually.
I wonder what it'll be like to be 64. See, that's young, comparatively speaking, these days.
There's nothing left. There's nothing to look forward to now.
Of course there is. Of course there is. Do you have any kind of family at all? Or
No.
None whatsoever?
None that didn't leave me the way I am today. That's just what they're still doing. I know that's...
Oh, well, I mean, you sound as if what you said you suffer a wee bit from depression.
Yes.
But you shouldn't let it get on top of you. Get out there, and breathe the air, smell the flowers,
Easier said than done.
I know, but you have to make an effort. I mean, no more of that old talk now, right?
Right.
If you're going to talk like that, I'm not going to put you on this wireless anymore.
Very good.
Do you know what I want you to do? I want you to ring me this time next week. Do you promise?
If I can get near a phone, that's the proof.
I want you to ring me next week. If you don't ring me next week, I'm going to send people out looking for you. All right. Well, whose house are you in now?
Oh, it's just us neighbours here that use their phone.
Will you tell them to make sure that you ring me this time next week, all right?
In the meantime, you heard nothing more about the thing?
Nothing more?
No.
Listen, we have to go now. Listen,
No,
ring
just,
me next week.
I'll ring that man, they can have it. It's just
Okay.
before I ring him, I just wanted to know if they were in it.